This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2018 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport. Up front is a 3.6 liter V6, and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Guys, I'm super excited to be driving the JL Wrangler for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've never driven a JL Wrangler before. This is the new body style as of 2018. This is the first model year for this body style. And although it looks very similar to the older style Jeeps, there are a couple things I'll point out when we talk about the exterior that make it stand out. The second reason I'm super excited is the fact that this is a 6-speed manual. So this is actually my first manual Jeep review, and I'm excited to see how it really feels and how it stacks up with the manual transmission, the true way that a Jeep should be spec'd. So let's get back to that 3.6 liter V6. I'll put the horsepower up on the screen. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, they've been using this engine not only forever, but they've been using it in everything. I mean, you throw a rock at a Dodge dealership, well, don't throw a rock at a Dodge dealership. But look at a Dodge dealership, and I guarantee you 90% of the cars either have a 3.6 liter V6 or have an option for a 3.6 liter V6. Again, do not throw rocks at car dealerships. Poor analogy. And so they've been using this engine forever. It makes okay power. I'll put the gas mileage up as well. You know, you have to remember the Jeep is very unaerodynamic, very heavy in terms of, at least as a car. So fuel economy is not the best in the JL. All right, 3.6 liter. Man, it's been a while since I've driven manual out here on the test track. Not super fast. It's a 3.6 liter. What do you want? However, when I got on the brakes, you ever land in an airplane like a 747 and they hit the brakes and you feel the rear end start picking up and the jet engines start, you know, spinning in reverse to slow the plane down? That's what that just felt like. It was like, oh, here we go. We're stopping, I think. I hope. But let's get on to the manual transmission. It is a 6-speed manual transmission, and it feels like garbage. It's very, very numb. The clutch is very, very numb. It's super light. I don't really quite know where it grabs. It's super, super light. I expected a larger vehicle like this to have a heavier clutch, but no, it's lighter than my Miata. It's so light. And the shifter is kind of clunky. It's not great. However, I love the fact that you can actually get a manual transmission in this body style of Jeep. I'm glad that they're keeping that. Now, before I get a bunch of hate saying, oh, you know, he doesn't know anything about manuals, he doesn't know anything about that. You're right, I don't know anything about these manual transmissions because I'm used to driving actually good manual transmissions that are responsive and feel great. So you're right, I'm not used to driving something so clunky and large and just, you know, it feels like it's just rough. It's just not a very sporty, not a very friendly transmission. But again, very happy that it's an option. Last but not least, of course, the Wrangler is 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. But let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 main gauges. On the far left is my tachometer. Then I have my coolant temperature and fuel, and I have a center screen along with that. I'll cycle through here a bunch of different options. It's an okay screen. It's a little small and a little cheap, and it only has one color in it. Well, it's white and black. You know, it's black and white and a couple, I guess, shades in between there, but it's not a very colorful screen, and I wish that it was, just to make it feel like they put a little bit more effort into it. Then on the far right, I have my speedometer, which says it goes up to 120, and boy, is that some wishful thinking on Dodge's part, or Chrysler's part, or Fiat's part, or whatever. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my selector for that center screen and the gauges we just talked about, as well as my phone options, and on the right, I have my cruise control options. To the left of me, I have my headlight switches, gauge dimmer switches, other dimmer switch. Nothing really too crazy. And then on the door, I have my power mirror options, as well as my lock and unlock. This is not where you'll find the window switches. We'll talk about that in a second. Moving into the center, we do have the center screen. Very, very small. I mean, smaller than even a phone. If you mount your phone to the windshield, that will be the larger screen in the vehicle, which I find to be kind of funny. This is Jeep's cheaper option. There is a larger screen that you can get. This is the same exact screen you'll find in the Jeep Renegade, as well as actually the Fiat 500. It is a touchscreen, surprisingly enough. On the sides, I do have radio, media, phone, compass, settings, and more. Let's see what the more will give me. Outside temperature, clock, and rear camera. I like the fact that I can just go in and just tap the rear camera and just see what it's seeing. That is very, very nice. However, this screen is really small. And at the bottom, I do have volume, tune, and a screen off button, which is really, really nice. I like that selectability. Then we have our climate controls, our fan controls, AC hot and cold. I don't actually get dual zone climate, unfortunately. And in here, you'll find 2 more buttons for the auto start stop off, as well as traction control off. These 2 are very, very nice features. Below the climate controls, we have a 12-volt outlet, which has a little key on it. Absolutely love that Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep have been doing this since at least the early 2000s. That means that this outlet will only get power when the vehicle is on. If it had a little battery logo, that means that the outlet will get power all the time, whether the vehicle is on or off. I absolutely love this, and other auto manufacturers are just now starting to do this, which is just insane to me. In the center, this is where we'll find our power windows. So the theory here is the fact that you can take the doors off of the Jeep. Now, as this was pointed out to me, why put them in the center? Because if you remove the doors, you're not going to have anything to roll down anyway. It could just be because there's just one connection going to the windows, you just unplug it, but I feel like even if the button was on the window, it would still be just one plug. I don't know. To the right of me, I do have my aux in, USBs in. I have a USB-C in, as well as a traditional USB in. I really, really like that, getting with the times. And then I have 4 auxiliary switches. This is absolutely awesome because Jeeps, which this one even is modified. It's a dealership car with 14,000 miles. This is modified. It has a lift kit and bigger wheels. Jeeps are meant to be modified, and so they know that. And so you can wire up your KC lights or, you know, other LEDs or a winch or anything like that up to these auxiliary switches. From the factory, they do nothing, which sounds stupid, but it's actually one of the smartest things Jeep has done in the last 20 years. Then we get to the center console with the shifter and the 4-wheel drive selector. So the 4-wheel drive selector is just a little lever down next to the shifter. I really, really like it. It's so smart. I love the actual physical shifter for the 4-wheel drive. I don't like button 4-wheel drive. It's just not as satisfying. And then, of course, the shifter itself, it's finished in this nice sort of leather on top and then this aluminum looking on the bottom. And then the reverse, because you pull up on that ring, left and where first gear would be is for reverse, the ring is red. So I love the accent of that. It's really, really nice. It's really pleasing to the eye. Then I have 2 cup holders, and then the seats. The seats are decently comfortable for a Jeep. I mean, this is not a luxury vehicle. This isn't something you show up to the red carpet in. And so the seats aren't, you know, super plush. They're not diamond stitched, but they are decently comfortable, and I'm enjoying them. With that being said, let's talk about the back seats. All right, so we're in the back of the 2018 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport, and this is the place you want to be in a Jeep Wrangler. Couple reasons for that. First of all, you got the speakers. Second of all, the whole roof comes off. You're in a convertible, the back seat of a convertible, essentially. Third of all, seats are pretty comfortable. They're not bad. They're a little hard, but, you know, this is a vehicle that can do it all. You have to make a couple sacrifices. I have 2 vents down here, power windows, 2 cup holders. That's really it. But like I said, driving the Jeep, riding in Jeeps, awesome. The best car you could ride in. Because they're so fun. You can take the top off, you can take the doors off. You just get to sit back and have fun and maybe even have a squirt gun fight with the car next to you. Did that in high school. So this is the spot that you want to be. Good back seats. I actually have very good lumbar support, which is hard to find in back seats of cars. But let's now hop around the back and we'll talk about the tailgate situation. So we're on the back of the Wrangler JL. One thing I want to point out, first of all, your backup camera is actually right through the middle of the spare tire. So it doesn't matter what tire you have on it. It fits right through the middle, absolutely great. And I also love whoever put these wheels on, whoever owned this previously, actually bought a fifth wheel for the back. It's hilarious seeing giant wheels on a Jeep and then they have the tiny stock spare. But anyway, just a door, open it up like this. In here, oh, this is cool. We actually have some configurations and actually made in the USA, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Toledo, Ohio. It actually has some some specs, 4-door, 2-door wheelbase, water fording, 30 inches at 5 miles an hour. That's awesome. I mean, look at that. That's really cool. Since 1941, I love this plate. This plate is awesome. We have the nice Jeep logo here. Inside, I mean, not a whole lot. Here is the 12-volt outlet. You can see now that has the battery logo, so that's on all the time. Nice little JL logo here. Nothing really too crazy, but that's what I really look for in modern SUVs is that rear outlet. Very important to me. Now we gotta talk about the looks. Like I said, this Jeep is modified, it is lifted. These are not the factory wheels. However, pretty much everything else is factory, like bumpers and things like that. This is the soft top version. You can get the hard top. So like I said earlier, this might look like every other Wrangler that's ever been made ever, but a couple things stick out to me. First of all, there's this little fake vent right behind the front wheel. That's always how I tell if it's a JL or a JK, which is the previous generation. Also, the turn signals have been moved to the front fenders, and the grille is shaped ever so slightly different. One thing I find hilarious about the outside is to take the doors off, they actually stamped into the doors what size hex key you need in order to remove the doors. I think this is both hilarious and awesome. You never have to guess anymore. You don't have to grab a million different wrenches to see which one fits. It literally says on the door. But overall, you gotta love the look of a Jeep. Jeeps have always looked pretty much the same, and they've always looked good. It's so unapologetically Jeep. This is a Jeep. There's no two ways about it. There's no argument. There's no debate. This is a Jeep. Let's see if my 3 remaining brain cells can figure out how to pop this bad boy. Oh. Okay. Oh. I don't know what I'm doing now, actually. I got the roof off, but well, I'm out here in the open now. Do I just say goodbye to the roof, or do I push it back? It's not powered. Well, the roof comes off. It's just propped open now. Well, there you go. Roof comes off. Cool. One downside of that convertible top is the fact that I do get a lot of road noise. I drove by a construction site over here and I heard everyone's conversation. So just something to think about. If you're not a big fan of that, there are hard tops available. And so, as we get towards the end of the review, I don't want this to sound negative, because I love Wranglers. I really do. If you want to buy an off-road capable vehicle, just buy a Wrangler. You could take the top off. They're great off-road with little to no modification. And with some very light modification, they're absolutely beasts off-road. Even still, this JL, this new version, which people are starting to say is, oh, they're getting too soft around the edges. I can guarantee you this manual transmission is not soft around the edges. This is a man's Jeep. This is a Jeep. This is a proper Jeep. And I absolutely love it. The shifter feels terrible. The driving experience isn't all that great. When you hit bumps and stuff, it just kind of decides where it wants to go, and you just got to react based off that. Kind of drives itself every once in a while. The torque from the V6 lets me completely let off the clutch, let off the gas, and it still carries me through. But listen, if you're looking for a new Jeep, buy a new Jeep. And if you want it in manual, you can get it in manual. Or if you don't like manual, you can get it automatic. These are fantastic cars because they're so incredibly capable. I love my small Japanese cars, but when that asteroid is headed towards our planet, or when, things hit the fan, I don't want to be in a small little Japanese car. I want to be in this. I could drive over stuff. I could drive through stuff. I could go through some pretty hefty water in a Wrangler. I can go through some pretty hefty mud in a Wrangler. You don't buy this car for its awesome shifting feel. You don't buy this car for its great sound deadening. You buy this car, this Jeep, this tool, because it can do everything. Here we go, going over some rough roads. It's not even a chore. Done. And it'll do it again. So no, I don't like driving this every day. I wouldn't want to commute in a Jeep Wrangler. I wouldn't want to drive a Jeep Wrangler on date night. But I would like to have a Jeep Wrangler because it can do everything. And that's what the Jeep has always done. And that's what Jeeps will continue to do. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the new JL Wrangler. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their JL. This is one of their used vehicles. Their information is up on the screen. I've driven a couple Jeeps from them before, a Renegade and a 2013 Wrangler, I believe. They are absolutely great. This is one of their used cars, so go check them out. If Jeeps are not your thing, if Toyotas are not your thing, still go check them out. They have tons and tons of used cars on the lot at all times. They're absolutely awesome. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.